I was proud of how fast the guys started. I was really proud of our fan base. I thought the turnout was incredible, as it normally is when we come up here. I thought our kids came out, started fast, and that was the goal all week. You know, we played videos of Mike Tyson, and we talked about starting fast and playing to our standard. And I thought they did that. They came out, got a 3 and out. Offense went down, scored, got turnover after turnover, and we started fast, which is important to our group. Tough atmosphere early on to play in, warm-ups throughout, but you know, we talked about it early, not letting there be excuses. And if you're going to be elite as a team, you got to be elite all the time. You can't be some of the time. That's not how elite teams play. And our guys embraced that, and I was proud of them. And we'll celebrate this victory on the way back home, and then we'll get ready for next week.
Okay, let's get started with Anthony Dasher and followed by Seth Emerson.
Hey, Coach, congrats. Obviously, a game like this, you're able to play a lot of different players. But I wanted to ask you, I guess, specifically about, how far the offensive line, the running game, a lot of those guys got some extra time today, and just in general, how the running game did. And also, I want to ask about Kendall Milton and how he's doing, why he didn't play today.
Kendall's nursing a little bit of a shoulder injury from the South Carolina game, and he could have gone, but we were going to wait and see if we needed him to go. And he practiced during the week with a black jersey and came out of that late in the week, and we were able to hold him, and very fortunate that we were able to do that. So we're looking for him to come back. As far as the run game, I thought we did some good things early on, made some good IDs. They loaded the box on us, and when teams load the box on you, you got to be willing to throw it. You got to spray it around, and they give you a really hard box. So some of the time we tried to block it, and we got 4 or 5 yard runs. And then some of the time we just try to throw because of the number of guys in there.
Yeah, Kirby, I guess just to follow up on the running game, there aren't like eye-popping Georgia-like run stats this year. Is a lot of that just because the passing game is just something that it's overshadowing it? It's something you want to ride, or is there anything about that with the run game that concerns you at all?
I mean, it always concerns you, right? If you don't run the ball successfully, it can create problems for you. But again, balance is what the defense dictates to you sometimes. And they were dictating to us that they were not going to let us run the ball. They were going to make it difficult and try to make us throw the ball. And we did. And we've hit some explosive plays because of the way they're playing the run. So we're not as big and massive. We don't have Ben Cleveland and Solomon Kinley, some of those guys. It's massive. We are athletic, and our guys do make good IDs and points and put us in the right place. But we have not been as explosive in the run game as I would like to be, or as consistent as I would like to be. But we have hit some explosives because of the boxes they're giving us.
Let's go to Brandon Sudge, followed by Chip Towers.
Hey, Kirby, I mean, early on in the first quarter there, you had this couple of end arounds to Brock and Ladd there. It's kind of a two-part question. How does kind of the element of that end around play to your receivers, how does that kind of open things up offensively? And then also with Brock, I mean, I know we ask about him almost every week, but having a guy like that who can be a pass catching tight end to such a volume, I mean, how much has that helped you guys here early on?
Well, the end arounds are misdirection plays. They're complements off our run game. If you overplay direct runs, then shots and perimeter runs are there. And if you overplay shots and perimeter runs, the direct runs are there. It's simple, right? They take this away, then this should be there. And they're executing on offense at a high level and blocking some of the perimeter plays early. We missed a couple blocks. But after that, I thought our guys hit some explosive blocks. Look, we had Jermaine Burton have a very, very key block on Brock Bowers end around. We had several guys block on Ladd's. Justin Robinson blocked a guy down in the end zone on his end around. And a lot of guys protected well on some of those passes. And so it's not one guy doing it. It's the quarterback making a good throw and making a catch and everybody blocking around them.
Coach, if I'm not mistaken, I think this might be the second most dominant SEC victory in Georgia history. Typically, SEC games aren't like this. They're more competitive. Can you just talk about the amount of domination there was on one side of the field here today? And is that a product of where your team is, as opposed to where Vanderbilt is at the moment in a rebuild under Clark Lee.
Yeah, I talked to Clark before the game. He's a really good friend of mine, defense coordinator, and at his alma mater. And we discussed being at your alma mater, how much pride you have in that. And he knows it's a work in progress. It's not built overnight. I think he understands that. And it's tough. It's tough when you go out in a matchup like that, and you're overmatched, and kids got to fight hard, fight through it, and that's part of football. I give our guys credit because they came out ready to play and played hard. But Vanderbilt helped us too, because the turnovers certainly got it going our way a lot faster than it would have been.
Let's go to Mike Griffith, followed by David Pascal.
Kirby, quarterback substitution after the first quarter, is JT 100%? Was that a pre-planned substitution there?
I wouldn't say that. It was a situation we felt like we could get Stetson some reps, and things kept rolling. So we'll see how it is with all those guys. All three of those guys have really done a good job, and I have a lot of confidence in all three of them.
Kirby, it's an interesting dynamic. Jordan Davis told the SEC Network that he played 9 snaps. JT just played the first quarter. Nolan was just in front of you talking about practices being harder than the games. What is it kind of like, just that dynamic when you have a week like this where you bust it during practice and you may only get 9 snaps or only play 1 quarter in a game?
It rarely happens, in our conference. It's like I said, there's more parity in terms of games and the games you play. It rarely happens. So you take it for what it is. You grow the other players. You get a chance to develop them. And, hey, I talked to an NFL GM that told me the best thing to do is tell the players, go play good so the other guys can play. And I didn't have the guts to say it, but they did. They went and played well, and the other guys got to play because they played well. So our team got to grow as a unit because of our ability to play a lot of players.
Let's go to Mark Bradley, followed by Mark Weiser.
Kirby, both you and Nolan Smith have mentioned that the importance of playing to your standard. Was there anything in that first quarter that you could say was substandard?
The kickoffs.
Okay.
To be honest, we didn't kick it off like my expectation is. Maybe if we kick it out of the end zone, we don't get a turnover. So maybe Kamar was just a lot smarter than me, because we got a fumble off of the kickoff that wasn't a touchback. But I guess I need to commend him for that, because he was thinking way ahead. I was a little upset it wasn't out of the end zone, but he knew more than I knew. So that ended up turning into 7 points.
Kind of following up on that in terms of playing to a standard, against UAB and Vanderbilt, you guys obviously took it to them. And then as your schedule, heats up in the SEC, how does that help you, knowing that you guys are not really worried about who the opponent is necessarily?
Well, if we play well, then you won't really worry about that, right? I think the biggest emphasis for us has been this trajectory that we wanted to be on, and we've talked a long time about every week we get to reset it. We gave the analogy of the 1 in 60. For every 1 degree you're off your target with a plane, every 60 miles you travel, you land 1 mile off course. So we kind of said, hey, if we're headed to LA, and every 60 miles we travel, we could land 27, 37 miles off target. And we have a chance to correct that 1 degree, just 1 degree. We have a chance to correct that every Sunday and Monday. And if we go correct that 1 degree off and we get back on track, we can hit our target. But if at any point in time, we don't think we need to correct that 1 or 2 degrees we're off, then we can get in trouble and miss our target. And our guys have kind of bought into that analogy of steering this plane the right direction.
Let's go to Catherine Lewis, followed by Jake Rowe.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about Keely Ringo getting his first start tonight or today. Kind of what led you to that decision, and how did he look in practice this week and compared to today's game?
Keely has improved each week. He's gained more confidence in our system. He's cut down on his mental errors, and we think he's going to be a good player. So we've always thought that, and we've been trying to develop him and gain the confidence he needs We need him to grow up and play well. We need speed. We need DK, Kamari. All those corners have got to grow up and play because that's probably one of the thinnest positions on our team. So we were happy for him, and I'll evaluate how he played when I look at the tape.
Kirby, I noticed that before the first quarter was even over, Javon Bullard's in there playing nickel for you guys, and he's not a heralded guy if you look at the recruiting rankings and things like that. But I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on him and what he's kind of brought to your team and his future.
Yeah, I don't go off. I mean, obviously, I'm not. This is no offense to you, Jake. I don't go off the heralded recruit thing because I just watch the tape, and it's very interesting to me to see who is heralded and who isn't when you go off the tape. And we thought he was one of the best long jumpers in the state, good 200-meter times, super physical for an undersized guy. And I mean, he's rotating. He's not going in the game because we're up. The plan was to play him the third series because he was playing and practicing well. I mean, the guy tackles, he thuds, he's tough. And we think he's going to be a good football player. So I'm excited about him.
We got time for 2 more questions. We'll go to Dean Legge and finish up with Jed May.
Kirby, this week during practice, was there anybody that was very competitive in a way that they have been in the past, or just anyone that supercharged y'all during practice?
Super what? Emotional?
Yeah, sometimes just giving y'all a jump, getting moving on the practice. It was just a normal week.
I thought we had really good practices this week. I mean, for this week, for there to be, maybe a letdown or a lack of focus or anything, I thought our guys were awesome. Now we shortened practice and we changed some things and did like 2-point competition and did 2s on 2s, 1s on 1. I mean, we just did a lot of different things with our time, but I thought our practice was good. I can't pick one person that was just really stood out. I thought that Mims and Truss practiced better this week than they had in previous weeks. So we tried to get them in there as quick as we could.
Kirby, it's kind of like Brandon said, it seems like we ask about Brock Bowers every week, but with him and Ladd McConkey, just how impressive is it what they're doing in terms of, being able to contribute this early? Are they two of the most, I guess, impressive freshmen you've been around in terms of their ability to pick up the playbook and all the intricacies that guys have to learn to get on the field quick?
They're just real tough, hard workers that believe in the process of working really hard. I mean, Ladd McConkey wasn't real heralded either, but he was a guy that we watched. And I said, what, this guy's fast. He's smart. He's athletic and he competes. He's tough. And, to me, that's a little bit what's missing in football, like don't tell me how good you are. Show me. And he's done a really good job doing that. Since none of you guys ever gave me a question to give me an opportunity to say this, I want to thank our fans for packing at the stadium, but I want to issue a challenge and I want it to be heard right now. We got a huge game next week at 12 o'clock in Athens, Georgia, and everybody wants our team to be elite. And I want our team to be elite, and we've thrown that word around. So when we talk about our fan base, being elite, we want to be there early and show up better than we ever have. We want to be loud, which is the L, louder than we ever have. We want to be super intense because the players are going to be intense. We need the fans to be intense. The toughness that we're going to show, we need our fan base to show. And the last thing is elite. So if our fans will be elite, we'll have an opportunity to put on a heck of a show at 12 o'clock in Sanford Stadium next week. Thanks and go Dogs.
All right. Thank you, Coach.